Good evening and welcome to the Nan Voss Show. I am your host, Nan Voss, and I am here with two very special and wonderful guests on my show. My twin sister, Janine, and her husband, Deshaun. So it's Deshaun and Janine Williamson, and they are celebrating their 17th wedding anniversary. So,
yay!
Congratulations on that.
Yeah, we deserve it. We deserve it. We do.
Good. How it feels after 17 years?
It feels good because we battled through a whole lot because we was married at 19, and over the years of being young and growing up, finding yourself as a woman. I'm from 19, from graduating high school to be a wife. So.
And a mother.
Well, actually, after 8 years.
Oh yes, that's
so
true.
First I had to battle just, from high school and to being a wife at a young age, which is, for me, it's always been a goal for me since I was a little girl, get married and have children.
Oh, so this was your fantasy.
Well,
this was your life, your dream.
Yeah, actually, it's true, but, you never think about the battles. Somebody so young and naive to get married so young, with the battles that in the future we'll be going to head on to. So it was hard, but I loved it. Yeah. I enjoyed it. My parents didn't agree, but we was going to get married anyway. You can't tell us what we're going to do.
Yeah. It was your idea.
Yes, that's what I wanted.
Apparently, if you did not know, we had a double wedding, so I was married with them at the same time. We was all married together. Unfortunately, my marriage didn't work out. But just having Janine showing here, you really set a good example and a role model, a model, especially believing that you can have a successful marriage, even though you got married so young. Yeah. So Sean, tell me at 19, like what was going through your mind? Or 20?
I was 19.
You was 19. Okay, you was 20. And what was going through your mind when, you started hearing the word marriage?
I don't know. I think it was basically what goes through everybody's mind. Only thing is, you have to remember when you're that young, it's more of a concept because you really don't know what's involved in making a marriage work. So I wasn't scared of the marriage, but I think that was kind of just through naivety, not knowing what marriage would entail. And that's not a bad thing because we came in not knowing, but we built the foundation from there. So you don't have to know what you're getting into necessarily because marriage is going to provide its own journey. So I did enjoy the ride. I do enjoy the ride. I will continue to enjoy the ride. As a young person, all I can say is that if you're going to take that step, you need to know you are going to have to compromise because two become one. So it's not going to be about you anymore. So if there was anything I could say that I had to tackle, it would have been just compromising and becoming an entity as opposed to putting my needs first. Because once you get that under wraps, love and the course of time will kind of handle everything from there.
Well, then let me ask you. This. Actually, on Facebook I post what were some of the keys to a successful marriage, and there was someone on my page, Derek. You see, he named a couple, but there was one in particular that I guess we all seem to overlook at times. He mentioned common ground.
Yes.
Okay, now as far as common grounds, was it more of your background? Did you had something in common, or it was more of interests, hobbies, and
Well, actually, we're two different people. We came from two different backgrounds. What made us stick together and grow is that we loved each other. We wanted to make each other happy. So we continue improving ourselves to make each other happy. Like, no marriage is perfect. Not any marriage is perfect.
No.
But there's certain compromises, and sometimes you're going to have to be able to accept criticism.
Yes.
And it's little things that's going to irritate you that he do. But the older you get, you'll learn that these are small things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, why get bothered over little things, and when the bigger picture, y'all together and y'all in love with each other. Not just love each other.
Hold on. Is that my phone?
That's hers.
Oh,
Who's blowing you up like, texting you back to back like that?
Yeah, who's texting you back to back like that? That's the real issue.
Okay, you mentioned something really interesting. Well, of course, you said that you and Sean had different backgrounds.
mm-hmm.
You came from a large family.
Mm-hmm. We both came from large.
He
families.
came from a large family. Do you think that contributes to the success of your marriage based on your background?
Mommy, his parents are still together. You know, was until his mom passed, and my parents are still together till this day. So that set a precedent that, you know, marriage is supposed to be forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're supposed to have 50 years, 60 years, and not just 5 or 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we learned through our parents that there's struggles and there's great times and there's bad times, and, you know, then it gets great again. So we see that through our parents, and that's a good thing, because we lived in a good structure, home structure. It may not have been perfect, you know, because our parents argued and fight, but still, we know that they still loved each other.
Yes. Yeah.
And they worked at it to make each other happy.
Mm-hmm.
So that never goes away. And the longer you're married, the more you begin to love each other more.
Mm-hmm.
And then these things become easy. Like, oh, I'm making him upset. Let me not do that.
You really
I'm
get to
gonna work on that.
know. Okay, you really get to know who that person is, their personality, their characteristics, and
Yeah.
just like any other friends. Of course, you'll get mad once in a while. You're gonna get pissed off, but since you're accustomed to that person's personality, then it's you can seem to get over it,
Adapt
to it.
because we
Exactly.
was young. We grew up together, basically, to become adults that we are now. We grew up
But
together.
that's the key point, though. You need to know that you're growing together. That process, time is going to make you grow together. How you handle that growing becomes really integral to how the marriage goes. If you're growing and you grow apart, then that's where your marriage is going to go. It's going to fall apart. But if you, I don't know, I wouldn't say convince yourself. If you have the wherewithal to know that you're dealing with a different person, you're both growing, and especially us growing from the ages of 19 and 20, you learn that as you grow together, it can either become more beautiful with communication, with time, with compromise, or you can, you know, skip all of that and your marriage will take a different course. So I think that aside from common ground, aside from the families and those all of those things play a part, realize that what you're getting into is an institution. Realize that it's going to take work just like anything else that's worth something. And if you're going to grow, it can grow to be very good. Marriage can be a beautiful thing, or it can be a really disastrous thing, depending on the couple, depending on circumstances. We were just blessed to have that common ground and that respect for each other to keep things moving, because once the love is there, everything else, like she said before, that's a small thing. It can be handled. Don't let it get in the way.
Okay. Well, we talked about common ground. Let's talk a little bit about communication. Now,
That is
you
very
know,
important.
everyone says it's very important. It's very important. It is. But just out of curiosity, we're in this new information age. We got smartphones. It seems like people are starting to become accustomed to using the texts and the emails to talk to their loved ones or someone they have interest. What is your thought? Because I've noticed, just watching you two, that y'all really don't text each other that much. You do more of the calling.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking
And we really don't do a lot of that.
You know, but every time I'm with y'all, you're 3 or 4 times a day. If I'm with y'all like the whole day, you're at least getting in contact with each other at least 3 or 4 times a day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is fascinating because people are moving towards the information,
yeah.
the electronics.
Just texting,
What is your thoughts
easy.
about that?
Well, see, I was always a person of a visual person, and I like to hear his voice.
Yes.
We like to hear each other's voice. Whether sometime I call him, he's upset or he's happy or whatever. I want to hear his voice.
Mhm.
Even if we're arguing, I might go to work, we're not texting each other. We'll call, are you okay? Are you still mad at me? Or, oh, I'm sorry. And like, you know, some couples can handle being apart from each other for long periods of time. I mean, us as a couple, we like to be near each other. We don't even take trips. The most we'll spend apart from each other is a couple of days or 3 or 5 days, and we're missing each other terribly. So we're not that couple that he can go and travel for work. He has to be home. I need to see him. And he's the same with me. I can't be that type of have a career when I'm traveling a lot because I need to be home with him. We need to see each other, feel each other, touch each other, you know, to keep us going on to another day. And that keeps us strong.
But you don't
as a
see
couple.
too many relationships like that.
Yeah,
That you
they're content.
you yearn to be with your mate. It's just like a week of seeing someone, you know, they get so frustrated, they feel like they need space.
Yeah.
It could be a couple of months.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time in each other's face. All the time. When we go to the party, we party together. We go on a trip, we go together. You know, if we're sitting around the house, we're sitting together because we keep that close bond to where we're always in contact with each other. I think we've developed the same interests. You mentioned common ground earlier. We didn't have a lot to start out with, but because we grew together and we stayed so close, we pretty much like all the same things now. I'm not a sports type of guy. You really won't catch me watching the basketball game or the football game. So a lot of that time I redirect towards being with her. I mean, I like to be around her. When you develop a friendship to the point we did, because as you know, we did a long distance relationship with just letters for years. So we're used to that level of communication. We like that level of communication. If it gets lower than that, there's a problem. You know,
He has a problem with it.
had a big problem with it. Yeah, me, I'm the one. I like to be really close. I'm a very affectionate person. I like, if I'm going to be married, I want the perks of being married. Having a best friend with you every day of the week is kind of cool. That's kind of the point of marriage. So why go into it and then start living 2 separate lives? You understand what I mean? If you get together and you make these vows, and every day after work, you're going to the pool hall, she's going to a girl's house, there's nothing to strengthen them. There's no underlying current to keep those vows close. So we've been blessed enough to enjoy each other's company to the point where we kind of stay in each other's faces a lot.
So you have 2 lovely, beautiful angels.
The
Yes,
babies.
we do.
Tell them the
Jasia
age.
and Jasmine.
Jasia and Jasmine, what age?
Jasia is 8 and Jasmine is 2.5.
Now, those are my babies. But married for 17 years. The oldest is 8. You guys waited a little. You waited some time before you had your first. What contributed to that? Well, why? I'm surprised you didn't pop. We thought you'd be the first one to pop the kids out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, as it turns out,
Yeah, but we only had 2.
we only had 2. We didn't really want any, to
I
tell you
did.
the truth.
He didn't want
I didn't want no kids.
Yeah.
But I love the kids I got, and we got the chance to travel,
Yeah.
to go to different countries, to do things that help strengthen our bond and prepare us. Because once you have kids, you literally take your life, wrap it up in a little package, and hand it over to them.
Yeah.
It belongs to them now, and I guess that's a good thing because you're raising the next generation. But it was good to have that time. That it was good to have that time to get to know each other and to grow together before we could raise anyone else.